Welcome back to another exciting, fun-filled episode of Roadrunner, Part 3. Okay, I have to just sound exciting because, honestly, well, let's recap. I went to put the exhaust on the car, and the kit that I was provided with was for a A-body car. This is a B-body car, and that was an A-body car kit. It's over there behind me. We have since gotten the B-body kit, so I am going to do my best to fit that in the car. And then once we get the exhaust in and it's all beautiful and fun and we're not frustrated at all, then we've got to lower the car down, and I've got to figure out what's going on with, I believe it's my firing order. The car starts, like barks to life, and then a couple seconds later backfires through the carb and dies. If you give it any throttle, you know, it doesn't have a choke, so if you give it any throttle to try to keep it running, it backfires and dies. So I have a feeling, and I have checked and double checked, but I have a feeling I have a couple wires crossed. I had some wires crossed, all right. No comments. Okay, thank you. Because the distributor, how it stabbed in, that's where it was when it was run on the dyno. It came with the distributor, engine came to me with the distributor stabbed, clocked. I didn't touch anything. So I know with the distributor where it is, it was running well. Where the carburetor is set, it was running well because everything was on the dyno. I just put the car back on and then ran the wires and plugs. So it's doing something. I did something wrong, I don't know. So we have to dive into that. Once I get that sorted out, we should be able to hear this thing actually run, and then I can test things like, does the fan kick on? I gotta fill the rest of it with coolant, you know, is everything working the way it should? I've also got the line lock switch on the shifter to wire up, and I think there's some more things on the list, like a taillight wasn't working. You know, those last things at the end that you just kind of button up real quick. Okay. As you can see, we've got the bumper, the hood, everything's on the car, ready to rock and roll. So we're just waiting for me to finish my part. And I was waiting for the exhaust to come in, and here it is. So let's dive right in. I am so glad you're here, by the way. Even if you are standing, you know, 20 feet from me. Okay, that's fair. Okay, well, let's get to work.
Days now I've been running for my life, passing right on my tail. Just this morning ran my horse into the ground, back there along the trail. And it was nightfall when I fell upon the bank, along the riverside. No black river so deep and so wide, and I know on the other side. If I could go back to yesterday, If I don't get across, they'll hang me up high. And I don't know if I can swim to the other side. She was all my hopes and dreams, to take her for my wife. She promised love forever, but I found them together. In a rage I took their lives.
Okay, fun times. We heard it run. I was just doing a little bit more adjustment on the exhaust. I didn't really bring in much on that because you've seen me do exhaust so many times, but I did want to show you, of course, now that the car's down on the ground, I'm going to just crawl down on the ground as if I don't have a lift. I don't know if these headers, I don't have the box anymore, were also for an A body, because as we had talked about before, the driver's side header like just went right into the cross member for the transmission mount. It wasn't lined up with the cutout for the exhaust. So what I ended up doing is basically cutting a collector, and I bought some S-pipe and I just cut it to fit, to just kind of jog it over here. So this is the only part that is not stainless. Everything else is stainless. The owner wanted the exhaust clamped like this. He may get it welded later, and maybe then that shop can weld some stainless together, but this is what I had. So it will work for now, and it obviously is working for now. Oh, and I'm stuck on the ground. Okay. Yep. I noticed some drips on the ground under the car, which I just ran it a little bit. It's very possible I've got coolant. So it's up here. I've got coolant leaking from somewhere. We'll find out. So the plan is to back the car off the lift, put it over by the door, and let it idle and warm up. That way I can make sure the electric fans kick on, fan singular. I can burp the coolant passages and make sure it's filled up with coolant, and just let it heat up. So this engine, again, has been on the dyno, so it's gone through its heat cycles already and everything like that. This is just to, you know, make it happy in the car. So it's always a good feeling. I guess I need to come clean, because you saw me working up under the hood because I said I had to recheck my wires. Well, I had the last two, actually. Okay, you gotta forgive me. Sometimes I'm just, it's 5 o'clock on a Friday and I'm tired. So I had the wires on this side it would be 5 and 7. I had those swapped on this end. They were right on this end in the firing order, but I had them swapped. All the wires kind of went up in there, and it was just an easy mistake to make because I can't see one end from the other, and I'm plugging and playing. Not only that, that wasn't enough. I had the final two in the, so this is cylinder number 1, and see, 7 and 2 are the final ones. So this is cylinder number 1, and 7 and 2 should be here. Well, I had 2 where 7 goes and 7 where 2 goes. I don't know, a little dyslexia going on. You just check your work. So that's why it was backfiring, not starting, because I had half of them right and the other half not right. It happens. Even when you think you're being meticulous, you can get distracted, oh, what was that? Or a customer comes in, or friends come over and want you to play hopscotch or, cornhole or something. And so then you come back to it and you forget where you are. And, maybe your kid comes in because they fell off their bike and they want you to, take them to the hospital, even though they're show no, anyway. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, it's right now, so I'm going to back it off of the lift under its own power for the first time in many months, but we're just going as far as the door and do what I previously mentioned. Once I am happy with it, I will take it out on the road in front of the house and just kind of feel it out, since we've done a lot to this car. So, yeah. Hang out. I'll just start doing stuff, I guess. Okay. Whew. It's 40 degrees out this morning. I'm gonna see how this cold starts. I think I just sat on the keys even. Is it? Yep. Okay. That's uncomfortable. I'm gonna see how this car cold starts without the, you know, it doesn't have a choke. And then we'll take it out on the road in front of the house, make sure everything's working the way it should be, and send it down the road, hopefully. Hope I have enough gas, because I think this was on E. That'd be great. Let's run out of gas. It's genius. Okay, we're in neutral. Let's give it a couple squirts. Every time I look at these side view round mirrors, I think of the Dukes of Hazzard, you know? Bo Duke driving, adjusting the mirror, you know, looking at Roscoe or Cletus behind him, you know? Gotta check the mirror before we take this jump, you know? Let's just see where they're at, make sure they're okay, because we're concerned. All right, that was silly. Let's see what we can do here. Okay, I just gave it a little bit of gas. Okay, I'm just gonna okay, we're getting oil pressure. I'm kind of leaving my foot on the gas a little bit. We're gonna have to kind of baby it till it gets some temp in it, and then it should idle fine. It's like on E, so I don't know. I have more gas if we need it, but it's idling. All right, get in reverse here. Okay, whoa, it's cold out. Got the windows down, that makes sense, but I want to hear everything, so. It's also threatening to rain today, so I kind of wanted to get this out. I wonder if that gas gauge is even working. It is on E. We're not going to go for a long drive, just in case. We'll go down the road and turn around. I just want to kind of feel it. This clutch is really light. We put that McLeod clutch in it last year. Okay. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. It needs an alignment. If you remember, we had to take off the, what am I saying? We had to, oh yeah, take off the end link on this side to put the header in. I tried to put it where it was, but it's gonna need an alignment. I don't have the equipment, okay? I just don't. This is nice. I'm nervous with the gauge on E, so I'm gonna turn around or I'll be walking. I'll be walking back home. Excellent. Shifting nice. Drives so nice. I will just tell you, the extra power that this engine has over the old one, night and day. It's so butter smooth, so butter smooth. So butter smooth. All right. feel good about it, other than not being able to see how much gas is in the car. That's weird. I feel like it was working before. Okay, well, let's pull it into the delivery bay after I go open the door. Yeah, so we're gonna be calling it quits on this episode. Let's put it in first so it doesn't roll. This project it's been long, frustrating, but fun. He got some paint work done. You saw the hood stripes. This over the winter, the motor was done. Last year we did the clutch. He put new gears in the rear end. We put that in for him. This car is really coming together to be just a wonderful summer cruiser. Has all the right parts and pieces. Last year, I'm remembering too, we put new felts in the windows and in the vent windows. We've done a lot to this car, and it's showing every little bit. So, does the beep beep work? It doesn't work. Oh, I'm gonna have to check on that. We gotta have the beep beep. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I might button up a few things, but I'm not gonna bore you with that. Let's just go inside and grab us something probably some coffee. I don't know where summer went, but it's gone. All right, see you inside. Well, that car is gone. Oh, excuse me. I just had to adjust myself. And I didn't get coffee. I have a little bit of apple juice left. It even says cheers on it. So cheers to you. It's cold and rainy today. So I don't know, whatever. We make our choices, and how can they be wrong? Because they're the ones we made, right? Makes no sense. I am pleased on the one hand to see the Roadrunner go back home and start, being tinkered on by the owner, but also sad because I love having it in the shop. Like, it's a great car. So on my personal bucket list, I don't even like the word bucket list, like kick the bucket before I die, whatever. I guess it's applicable, whatever. I've got a list of cars that I would like to own. And even in my mind, I know that owning them and driving them won't be probably everything that is in my mind that it will be. But I've driven enough old cars to know kind of what it will be, But one of my bucket list cars is a '69 Charger. Obviously, I grew up watching the Dukes of Hazzard, and it was, I grew up watching the A-Team and Hardcastle and McCormick and Knight Rider and all of these shows. All I cared about, the Fall Guy, the stunts that they did in cars. I watched Magnum PI and was usually disappointed because there wasn't really a lot of car stunts, but the Ferrari was cool. So I watched all of those car shows growing up to watch these cars skid around corners and do jumps and crazy things and everything. And it taught me how to drive. I drove like that as a teenager because that's what I looked up to. I had a lot of fun, visited a few ditches along the way, but that's part of learning. So, yeah. So anyway, a '69 Charger. I've had a Firebird, sort of ish the era of Knight Rider. I'm not sure I would want a Manta. I think that's what Hardcastle and McCormick drove. Yeah, I've driven square body Chevys. You know, I never had a 69 Charger. So it's on the list. Another vehicle on the list, might surprise you, is honestly late 60s all the way up to late 80s Porsche 911. There's a lot of variances. Porsche loves to make like tons of different types of the same car. Obviously the turbo is you know, that's kind of the pinnacle, but just a Carrera 911T, they're just, I know they're basically VW bugs. You know, unless you're a Porsche guy, then they definitely have nothing to do with VW bugs. But I'm a car guy, so I find the irony humorous. It's the same technology, etc. But I love them. The old ones are not super powerful, but they're engaging to drive, and I just, yeah, I've owned Porsche Boxster, probably one of the most underrated sports cars, like for the money. You can spend 10 to 15 grand on an excellent first or second gen example. There's nothing that drives like it. When the Boxster first came out, I was like, you know, I'm a hardcore 911 guy. I can't remember, I think it was Condor Man. 80s movie, 90s movie, I don't remember, look it up. But the villains drove Porsche 911s, black ones. Like, I was captivated. I wanted a Porsche 911. The head villain drove the slant nose 911. And then the rest of them drove the regular ones, but I've always been a fan of the regular. I've never really been a fan of the slant nose. But anyway, how did I get on cars? What's the deal with cars? How come that's what I'm always talking about? I don't understand. I must like them or something. Anyway, yeah, I've got a couple things on my list to someday own. I'm not brand loyal. I like cars. So, excuse me, I just had a snort. I better just take a drink. Cheers. Thank you once again for hanging out with me in my shop and just, yeah, just keep me company. I appreciate it. I really do. And yeah, hopefully we'll see you next week. I don't know what I'm doing next week, but it's going to be with a car. So I know that. Anyway, talk to you later.